Greetings for the day. My name is Nithin. I'm an assistant professor from CSE ML department. So, for today's session, I've brought one of the key topics of management and social sciences subject called organizational behavior. And the name of the topic is the motivation in workplace. So, so what do we call as the baseline of the definition? Let's understand what is the motivation in the workplace. That is the driving force. That is the first topic that needs to be empathized and possessed for every working employee. So on the baseline, what is it? It's the driving force for you to work and progress towards your career and also towards the progress of your organization. So let's take a practical example of let's say there is an employee from a software organization or a company, a product based company. So what happens? For example, two employees joined at the same time in the organization as let's say the developers. So the only difference is, let's say one was highly motivated towards work and the other one he's he's giving barely minimum for the company. So what happens? Both have joined at the same time, but the results, it is going to be very much differentiated in the perspective of the company. How? So once the motivation is high, productivity goes high, and once the productivity goes high, the market value increases. So once the market value increases, profit increases, and so on. It goes on through towards development. On the other case, what happens? This is not going to be a very much effective approach. So working in a constant minimum manner only gives out their parts of the work, and that will be given normal results. So this is going to affect, even though both are from the same background, even though both are of the same profile, the results, the end product is going to be differentiated in a much bigger ways. So there will be two types of motivation. Let's say the first one, intrinsic. The second one is extrinsic. So the first category, it is all about self. That the motivation, intrinsic motivation, comes from the self through their commitment, determination, etc. So once they are committed towards company, the factors, the extrinsic, intrinsic factors are about one's self. So if an individual is not intrinsic by default, there will be other factors that will make him motivated towards the work. What are they? Let's say the extrinsic means the factors that are from the external sources. Let's say from the company, salary, bonus, what else? Accomplishments, recognition, etc. So different, there are two types of motivations. So one comes through the self and the other comes through the company, through the external sources or the working organizations. So there is a scholar who gave a very famous model related to motivation. He invented, there are certain types, certain factors that an individual or a human basically needs. So he categorized them into five types. So he categorized them into 5 categories, 5 types. So we'll have, this is the, let's say this can be also written in a pyramid manner, describing the levels, the importance that comes on the top, and the next, and the next, until goes on to the bottom prioritized category. So what is the first one? This is the first basic need, what we need as a human. So let's say money, water, food, shelter, etc. So this is the first top prioritized for any individual, for any employee, for any working individual, etc. Job, safety measures, job, security, insurance, etc. They fall under the second category. So which make sure that the individual is safe to survive in the world. The third one, family, friends, social interactions. So what kind of a role this section plays in an individual's life? So it needs to be balanced from both the ends. So once the work life, this part is also the most important, one of the most important sections of a human's life. So once the working side life is balanced, as it is as important as the other part. Esteem category falls under the things. So what does this part explain about self esteem? The category of esteem, motivation, that is going to be manipulated or changed by these factors. Once you work, the work needs to be recognized, and there will be certain awards, certain you know given certain promotions to recognize the work, to encourage them to move forward in the career, or in the line of what do we call the working nature. Exploring more things, learning new skills, and reaching max potential, and pursuing creativity or other abilities that you can do as an individual, as a working employee, and self improvement. These things fall under self actualization category. So this will be the order in which Abraham Maslow given based on that the pyramid of the motivation and needs, basically. So these are all the needs. This is how the sequence goes. So once all these are met, he's going to be an individual appropriate to go forward and maximize his ability in all the arenas. So for these needs and categories, we can take any industry or any organization or an employee or an any other individual to map these needs in category wise. For example, let's take a software employee. The needs that he has to meet fall under all of these categories, right? So basic physiological, salary, uh, family work life balance, social interactions, promotions, rewards, creative work recognition, project opinion handling amongst the group. So once this is an example, like once he met all these factors one by one, only then he will be motivated all the way again to to continue his work or to continue utilizing his abilities. So explaining with this is a practical example explaining how this needs to be met and indulged in life. So why we need the entire concept of this motivation and the factors and the needs coming all together? This is going to affect everything on the on both the sides. Let's say so his work and commitment is going to impact directly on companies growth, income, market value, all combined future. It will be decided based on the employee's self motivation. So that it's that important, starting from the very core basic empathetic values and ethics or morale from the individual. Each individual contributes to the company, and in return, companies' recognition and acknowledgement is going to affect them in many ways. In many that can be both positive and negative, or it can also be neutral. So the result, it increases productivity, individual morale, self growth of both employee and organization. It reduces the absenteeism of employees, making them regular, keeping them moving on with the flow towards progression. Innovation is encouraged. Along with all the other factors right here, innovation is also more uploaded and encouraged throughout the process. So, more ideas, more value. So, there are many more factors. These are all the top important factors. So, there will be even more uh, points and key factors that can be discussed starting from this uh, initiation. An individual who is motivated is not only going to be productive throughout the day or throughout the month or year, he is also going to be committed towards the growth of the organization and the vice versa. So, the end product and the end result is going to be much more bigger and vast once the individuals are alone one by one, they're all motivated. So, that's it for the session. So, we'll see much more, many more other topics in the coming sessions. Thank you.